Hey, MentalMars here and welcome to the channel. And in this video I wanted to give you guys my impression of Zane, who I got to play during the Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal event. And with that I want to give a little disclaimer. Yes, my trip was provided by 2K Games, so thank you for that 2K. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. So during my play session at the Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal event, I was able to play as Zane the Operative. He is your James Bond kind of guy with all his gadgets as action skills. You can choose out of the holographic decoy, a drone and a shield. The cool thing is that when you play as Zane, you have the ability to equip 2 action skills. This makes him a very unique Vault Hunter because we never had such a feature before. The somewhat downside of this is that you have to sacrifice your grenades in order to use that second action skill. However, don't worry, due to some clever game design, those grenades won't go to waste. But I'll cover that in the individual action skills when we get to them. Zane's first action skill is the Digi-clone. This is a holographic copy of himself. The ability was first teased in the reveal trailer. Back then we started speculating that this decoy would work in similar fashion as Zero's decoy from Borderlands 2 or the Digi-jacks from Jack in Borderlands 3 sequel, but none of those are true. When Zane activates his Digi-clone, he deploys a holographic decoy of himself onto the battlefield. However, his decoy will remain stationary. It will attract aggro from your enemies. But the cool feature of this action skill that really blew my mind during the presentation is that you can switch with the decoy at any time. During the first presentation, the developer used the decoy to avoid massive damage from a AoE attack. This was during the Mouthpiece boss fight, where he placed the decoy in the center of the arena and then he could freely move around. But when he was cornered and the subwoofer blast went off, he quickly switched between himself and the decoy, which was a very cool last minute escape. When I got my hands on the game, I used the Digi-clone to flank my enemies. There were these combat zones where you have multiple lanes. By deploying my decoy in one lane and then going through the other lane myself, I could flank the enemies. But once you moved up like 10 meters or so, a lot of enemies are going to convert on you because you are pulling a lot of aggro. So by switching places with your decoy, you can turn the tables around again, start flanking them again. It's like the most action-packed set of chess moves where you strategically advance 2 pawns across the board in 2 separate lanes. Really cool. In the double agent skill tree, there is a skill that lets your Digi-clone throw out grenades when activating him. Further down the line there's also a skill that lets you consume frags in order to gain some boosts. Zane's second action skill is the SNTNL drone. This is a handy gadget to have around. I always appreciate a drone or a turret to help me out in times of need. I like the fact that you can give your drone targets to focus on. When you have your sentinel out on the battlefield, it will spot enemies and an icon will appear above their head. Now you can focus target them by pressing the action skill button again and the drone will home in on that target. If you equip the Sentinel as your second action skill, you will sacrifice the ability to throw grenades yourself. However, further down the skill tree, there is the ability to equip your drone with your frags. Your drone will use your grenade mod with this ability, so that slot won't go to waste. Your third action skill is the barrier shield. This seems to be the least exciting action skill out of the 3. However, that said, it can be a very useful utility to block incoming projectiles, but it can also boost your damage when you shoot through it. During my play sessions I occasionally got overwhelmed by the number of enemies. Having a shield equipped can be a good counter to that, as the shield will provide you with cover, and when you place it correctly you can gain some additional firepower through that. A cool thing is that a co-op buddy can also benefit from these bonuses. And if you don't have any friends to play with, you can always pick up the shield and rush your way through the combat zone. The only piece of feedback I have for this ability is to activate the personal shield from the get-go. Currently you have to throw down the shield and then pick it up again. What if Gearbox added an additional button command? When a short press is just deploying the shield, and holding the action skill button will instantly activate the bubble shield around you. This would be more user-friendly and effective for advanced players. All in all, I enjoyed my playtime with Zane FLYNT. He might become the min-max character of this game. His action skills allow for some intelligent play. I can really see someone play Zane very offensively, running and gunning with the shield equipped. Flanking your opponents by switching perspectives with the Digi-clone is a fun and action-packed thing to do. But I can also see someone play him more laid back and let the drone just do his job. I like that all the action skills can be used in a passive but also active way, giving you more ways to play. Props to the design team for changing the grenade sacrifice into a win.
Get wasted, you wankers! That was brilliant, Vault Hunter!